Welcome to the very first section of HTML introduction. Now, in this particular video, we will go over what HTML actually is. Now, HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. Now, this is a standard markup language for creating web pages. It describes the structure of a web page and consists of series of elements inside it. Now, HTML elements tell the browser how to display the content inside those elements. HTML element label pieces of content such as heading, paragraph, links. So that's what HTML elements kind of explains to the browser what it is. For example, let's look at this web page here. It has a title on the top. Where did this title come from? It has inside the body of this particular browser, it has the heading and hello paragraph. Now, if you right click on it and view page source, you'll probably see the HTML that was written to create this particular page. Now let's go back to my editor and see how we wrote this. So in here, if you see, we have starting with doc type HTML, which is a declaration that defines that this document is a HTML5 document. Next one, HTML element is the root element of all the HTML pages. This will always be there. Next is the head. The head element contains meta information about the HTML page. For example, what we have is a title over there, which specifies a title for that HTML page, which you saw displayed on the top of the page. This on no matter what browser you use, you'll probably see this on the top. The body element defines the document's body and is a container for all the visible content, such as headings, paragraphs, images, hyperlinks, whatever you have will be inside this body tag. If you see inside this body tag, we have a h1 tag, which is a header tag. Now these can go from h1, h2, h3, h4, and if they become smaller, as in when you change these, and we'll go in more detail of that. And P is the paragraph tag. If I add multiple paragraphs, you'll probably see in the website that they get added as paragraph below it. Now this is a basic example of a HTML page. Now an HTML element, which are these, are defined by a start tag, some content, and the end tag. So for example here, h1 is the tag name. So this is the tag name and this is the end tag, and the content goes in between. The HTML element is everything from start tag to the end tag. So this entire thing is an HTML element. This entire thing is another HTML element. Now, if you see, how do you know which one is the start and end? If you see slash here, slash means an end tag. So if whenever you start something, you can end the tag using slash. Now, there are some elements which don't have an end tag. For example, BR, which is break line. So example, if I say hello world and open this here, you'll probably see it shows up in the next. Even though I didn't say paragraph, since this paragraph is ending, it's going to go to the next place and then add that. Now BR, it doesn't have an end tag and you don't need it because it doesn't need one. So what BR does is it adds a break line. So it says whatever text is after BR, move it to the next line. So this is a basic example of an HTML page. Now the web browsers that you can test it with are Chrome, Edge, Firefox, Safari, whatever you feel like, can all read these HTML documents and render them properly. A browser does not display the HTML tags but uses them to determine how to display the content. So what we saw here, if you see, it doesn't display the HTML, it just does show the content. The page structure usually consists of most of the web pages that you'll see has the HTML, head, body, and all the tags inside there that are displayed inside a particular web page, and then body closing saying that this is the body closing. Now to know a little bit about the history of HTML, let's see when was it invented. Initially, it was invented by Tim Berners-Lee in 1989. It was called WWW, World Wide Web. Then Tim Berners-Lee also invented HTML in 1991. Then there was Dave Raggett, who drafted HTML Plus in 1993. And that has been evolving since then to HTML2, 3.2, 4. There was also XHTML, which was XML version of XHTML, which were more standard. in the most recent updates for HTML5, which came into picture in 2014, and since then we've been using HTML5. It had different subversions. 5.1, 5.2 is I think the most latest one as per the recording of this video, but it keeps on increasing. So I guess that's where I'll leave you with it, and we'll probably look at more details of each and everything as and when we go. So don't forget to right click on whatever web page you like, and you can go through the code. Not every single web page has their HTML properly defined. For example, if I go to google.com and right click, okay, I think I just went to a particular Google search, it will not be as easy and as simple. But if you go to a website like something.com, right click and view page source, you'll probably see it has some basic HTML and body inside it. You can go to some of your favorite websites and do this and play around with it. If you have any questions, leave it in the comments. Thank you.